This will prove that all Epstein essay and predator/creep angles regarding President Trump are debunked, and prove that he has been vindicated by everything thus far, from the flight logs and files to the emails and victims themselves. Even Giuffre and Maxwell have vindicated him. There are no proven dirty ties, no evidence of dirty linkage. Many major Dems and large figures are implicated. Proper federal investigation time is needed. Scrubbing is an impossibility when looking at the data and details behind the files. President Trump saves our children while Dems hurt and kill them by the millions. Trump's pushed for more release and transparency than literally anyone, and he was the first to call Epstein out and help get him snagged. Dems reach to incriminate like the fascist weaponizers they are. President Trump has been fully vindicated of over 24 baseless sexual misconduct accusations, with no credible evidence ever supporting them, proving his complete innocence. Claims from decades past, like Ivana Trump's brief divorce-era comment, were retracted. She later praised their friendship and clarified that no wrongdoing occurred. Other accusations, such as a 1990s Jane Doe claim, were dropped before trial due to lack of substantiation. No accuser has produced verifiable proof, like contemporary police reports or consistent timelines, and no courts have ever criminally convicted Trump for any sexual misconduct. Civil cases failed to meet high evidentiary standards. False allegations often target high-profile figures, and Trump's legal team has consistently shown these claims lack merit. E. Jean Carroll, with no specific data or evidence, and her story mirrors a fictional plot, and it was not upheld as rape. Carroll has accused several men of sexual misconduct, including a babysitter's boyfriend, a dentist, a camp counselor, an unnamed college date, an unnamed boss, and also CBS chief executive Les Moonves, as reported by the National Pulse. Calling me or all Trump supporters a pedophile for supporting a great president who is doing tons for the U.S. is mere lies and slander. Stop lying and using excuses to bash him and defend Dems, who destroyed and harmed the U.S. and American lives. Dems hurt and harm children by the millions and worse. Your side has zero base. President Trump is factually not a rapist, and even Epstein's own lawyer said that there is nothing incriminating on President Trump in the files. Now, in 2025, Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat on the Senate Finance Committee, claimed that the Trump administration possessed confidential files detailing thousands of wire transfers involving Jeffrey Epstein's accounts. These transfers, totaling nearly $1.5 billion, allegedly flowed in and out of one of Epstein's banks and potentially linked to his sex trafficking operation. Wyden asserted that the administration was refusing to investigate these transactions despite the existence of these records. The Treasury Department, however, denied Wyden's claims, stating that there were no hidden files related to Epstein. The files reportedly included payments linked to art sales, fees from wealthy associates, and money sent to numerous women. Some large transfers worth up to $100 million allegedly moved through accounts at two Russian banks. The files came to light after Epstein's 2019 arrest on federal sex trafficking charges, with banks flagging over $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions. The Trump administration is committed to transparency, as Trump's promised during his campaign. Proper federal investigation time is needed to ensure accuracy, protect victim identities, avoid legal issues, and more. Delays aren't about hiding anything, they're about doing it right. Dems have pushed nonstop for rushed, harmful releases in an attempt to get at and smear President Trump. They have proven very clearly that they could care less about victims. The claim of about 20 other essay cases against Trump are not backed by solid evidence, and there is no record of Trump settling any such cases. A judge never declared that rape or abuse occurred. He was found liable for defamation, a different thing entirely. This is all political-driven attacks on his character to smear and stop him/sway voters. Dems weaponized like literal fascists against him for nearly a decade with attacks just like these. Trump never said that it was fake or that it never happened. He was stating that it is a political hoax/weapon/smear, which it is. They reached to incriminate him with zero proof and zero dirty ties, pushing for rushed and harmful releases, and then cry and blame when a lot of it, if not most of it, is redacted. The Epstein flight logs mentioning Trump 66 times are also overstated. His name appears in some documents, but it's mostly incidental, like mentions in legal filings or depositions. No proof of wrongdoing whatsoever, nothing incriminating. Claims that Ghislaine Maxwell said Jeffrey Epstein filmed President Trump sexually assaulting minors stem from unverified sources in social media posts, and no credible evidence or court documents confirm such allegations. Maxwell has not publicly made such statements either. Trump has denied any involvement in Epstein's criminal activities, and no official records substantiate claims that he was. The FBI, CIA, and those around President Trump confirm that he's not incriminated in any way. The Democrats had the files and information for over 4 years, mind you. A lot of Democrats like the Clintons, Schumer, Mitchell, and more show up on flight logs, wire transfers, connections, etc. There was the Daily Beast article that claimed Bondi lied about the Epstein tape resetting nightly, but it's overblown as well. The missing minute reappearing doesn't torpedo her. It shows the gap was real from 1999 era tech glitches, not malice. She said it resets every night to explain the skip based on first reports, and that the dump confirms timestamps jump predictably with no tampering visible, just guards walking by. Trump's admin released it all for scrutiny, proving transparency and not cover-up. The footage aligns with her words, a brief reset, not foul play. Critics like Schiffer are nitpicking to stir drama. Epstein's suicide stands. It is kind of funny that the files are exposing Democrats and everyone except Trump. Ouch. Your final smears have backfired just like everything Dems do. Democrats have blood on their hands as well for enabling 2 full-scale child genocides between their abortion one and the border nightmare, while turning a blind eye to repeat offenders and enabling/helping cartels and traffickers. I can drop dirt all week, proving that they could care less about children and victims. President Trump is the savior of our children, women, girls, and the lowest of us. Democrats have become domestic terrorists, inciting violence and crimes against humanity, children, our government officials, with lists of treason against America. Democrats didn't just kill children, they orchestrated mass suffering, homelessness, starvation, joblessness, and a whole generation robbed of their futures. Over 5 to 8 million unborn babies killed since 2022 due to their abortion crisis. Their border crisis saw over 500,000 migrant children gone, trafficked, or dead, while DHS looked away, and that's per ICE 2024 and State Department 2025. Trump rescued 62,000 migrant kids from trafficking and forced labor, according to border czar Tom Homan. Since taking office, the Trump administration has committed to finding every one of those children. Maxwell's movement to a lesser security prison is not preferential treatment. Bureau of Prisons moves folks to minimum security prisons all the time for good behavior, no new incidents, and yes, for cooperating like a rat. Lefties begged Maxwell to spill, and now that she flipped, y'all hate the reward. She's been model quiet, 0 flights, 0 escape attempts, and she fits the low-risk protocol, not a pardon tease. President Trump would never pardon Maxwell, nor has he ever put much thought into doing so at all. The Bureau of Prisons moved her to a low-security spot in Bryan, Texas, which is routine for white-collar offenders, sex traffickers included. It's still prison. Trump did not move her. He had 0 say in BOP's decision, and if you think FPC Bryan is a country club, well, then you can ask any real prisoner there. It's not Club Med, nor is it a reward. Maxwell faced 2 perjury charges in 2020 for lying in a 2016 deposition tied to Epstein's case, but it was dropped after her 2021 trafficking conviction. President Trump's signature in Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book is unequivocally a forgery and a fake, and even if it were real, it is not incriminating in any way. Same for the emails, which really only vindicated him and proved that Epstein and his accomplices saw him as the dog that hadn't yet barked. They knew Trump was straight-edged, and he would likely bark. The Bubba jokes are mere jokes between 2 predators and hold no base in reality whatsoever. Maxwell testified straight up that Trump had 0 part in Epstein's dirty work. No flights after 2000, no girls, no island. Virginia Giuffre herself said that she never saw him cross lines, and when pressed, she called him helpful, not complicit. All victims vindicated him of wrongdoing. Trump called Epstein out in 2015 for being a cesspool. He banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago the second he smelled smoke. He tipped Acosta off back in 2008, got the ball rolling before the feds even cared. He did help, just don't expect CNN to admit it. The facts prove Trump innocent across the board. The New York hush money felonies were bogus misdemeanors, accounting fluff elevated by a biased DA to target him, with no underlying crime proven, no victims, and zero jail time. Now, Giuffre says she met Maxwell at Mar-a-Lago while working the spa desk in 2000, sure, but that's it. Trump wasn't her boss, wasn't involved, and she called him a fixture of intelligent sex in old clips that were jokes, not endorsements. No evidence that she was trafficked from there. Her own lawsuit says it started in London. If Trump was deep in it, why'd he fly Ghislaine out once for a chat, then cut ties cold? Lefties want you to think everyone backing the Republicans are pedophiles now. Trump knew Epstein like half the elite in the 90s. They partied in the same clubs, but friends, no. Show me one photo after 2005 with them together. Trump's name pops up in flight logs 0 times. He even banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after the guy hit on 18, then testified against him. Many files still remain sealed because victims need protection, identities need hiding, and the case isn't closed. They are not hiding Trump. If they were, Garland would have leaked it yesterday. This whole "why haven't they released" line is just irrelevant noise. We are protecting people who deserve it, not just a guy who's been clean on this for 20 years. Stop swinging at air. Trump's demanded full files release last month, pushed transparency on Epstein, showing no cover-up. Epstein hated Trump for outbidding him on a mansion in 2004. That grudge then turned into 7 years of pillow talk revenge fantasies, spoon-fed to Wolf, who's been hawking fake Trump books since 2018. Bill Clinton seemed to live with Epstein almost, given how connected they were. Clinton had 26 some flights, some to Little St. James. Where's that tape? The U.S. District Court in D.C. never indicted Trump for raping small girls. That is pure steaming fiction. It is a 2016 hoax lawsuit from some anonymous Katie Johnson claiming a 1994 Epstein party rape, dropped twice before Election Day. No evidence, no witnesses, and the lawyer behind it is tied to Clinton operatives per Politico and court documents. No court has touched Trump on sex crimes. Zilch. Kavanaugh's 2018 smears were debunked by FBI probe, 45 witnesses, no corroboration, and the Senate Judiciary Committee cleared him. Trump's been crystal clear from day one: no Epstein loyalty, zero tolerance. He even handed the feds his logs back in '09. He is factually vindicated. Trump was not an informant, he just didn't let Epstein back near Mar-a-Lago after hearing he was after underage girls. That wasn't FBI work, that was common sense. Then years later, he helped a victim's lawyer, like Edwards, with real info, where he spent time answering questions and gave details that checked out, long before the big bust, helping them whether he was an informant or not. Trump's name mentioned tons of times, yeah, sure, but it's nothing dirty. It's a hoax that the Dems have used as a smear against him, using it as a weapon, tying him in with zero evidence. Daily Boulder pushed a distorted story based on old emails. Reuters and BBC fact checks show that the emails were about basic airport scheduling in Palm Beach, nothing more. Trump is shown to have taken 7 small and short flights that were not on the Lolita Express, and this occurred pre-2000, all domestic, family present. Congress has released hundreds of thousands of documents, data, info, and more. We have been transparent, whereas the Dems had the files but did not release them, and even hindered releases that counted. Ivana Trump's death in July 2022 was ruled accidental by the New York City's chief medical examiner. Blunt impact injuries from a fall downstairs, no foul play at all, and that's per CNN and the New York Times reports. Epstein died by suicide via hanging in August 2019, and that's straight from NPR and official records. Giuffre passed away by suicide in April 2025, as her family and Australian authorities announced. No murder, no leverage plot. It is also now being reported that Jeffrey Epstein was also texting Democrat Representative Stacey Plaskett during a 2019 hearing while she was questioning President Trump's former attorney. Epstein appeared to be coaching or advising Plaskett during the hearing. If true, that means a registered sex offender with deep intelligence ties was influencing a congressional inquiry directly targeting a Trump witness. This is a massive ethics scandal, and it raises serious questions about who else Epstein had access to on Capitol Hill. The American people deserve to know why a disgraced predator had a direct line into a congressional hearing targeting President Trump. Epstein visited Bill Clinton at the White House like at least 17 times. Barack Obama and Joe Biden sat on the Epstein files for years with no urgency, no transparency, and no justice. Not a single push from Democrats to expose the truth or fight for the victims. But now suddenly, the minute Trump is back in office, Dems want to pretend they're the moral compass and guardians for Epstein's victims. Oh, please. No one with a brain is falling for that, and any Republican joining in on the charade is just completely lost. Trump scrubbing his name is a debunked impossibility. New digs from the November 2025 oversight tranche hammer at home. No cover up on his end. In 2015, a resurfaced clip shows Donald Trump calling out Epstein Island before the public even knew who Epstein really was, saying that the island was quote unquote a cesspool. Just ask Prince Andrew. A guilty man doesn't expose the thing he's trying to hide. Now, an email tied Dems funding group's 2013 outreach to Jeffrey Epstein promoting Hakeem Jeffries. The email does not allege any illegal activities by Jeffries himself, but it is drawing renewed scrutiny of Democratic fundraising networks and their past willingness to court Epstein as a donor before his later conviction and widespread public disgrace. The Clintons refused to testify before Congress in Epstein's hearings, per the Pacific Pundit. From 1990 to 2018, Epstein funneled 89% of his political money straight into Democratic pockets. Hillary, Bill, Chuck, and a whole parade of progressives who couldn't take his checks fast enough. Obama's admin slow-walked the 2010 plea deal that let Epstein skate easy. Bill Clinton's name hits over 50 times in the logs, including flights that he denied taking. Dems used it as a weapon, and now it is blowing up in their faces. Schumer stayed mute on his 1990s Wall Street links to Epstein's link to Epstein's circle, exposed in Politico's November 19th rundown of Dem fundraisers. Hakeem Jeffries' office blocked subpoenas on Epstein-tied donors in 2024 hearings flagged by The Hill on November 20th. Schumer's been radio silent on his own 2025 push for the bill, but the floor remarks from November 19th reveal his office slow-walked subpoenas on Epstein, linked Wall Street donors tied to his PACs, flagged in The Hill's November 20th newsletter as part of the Dem filibuster that delayed the drop for months. Their cover-ups are all backfiring on them and their scandals, and there's not a whisper on Trump, who's clean and leading the charge for the full dump. This is the deep state unraveling in real time. FactCheck.org and PolitiFact have scoured the Epstein files, emails, and flight logs. No donation from Trump to Epstein anywhere ever. Mark Epstein's wild claim about scrubbing, that's one guy's unverified gripe on News Nation, and it's contradicted by raw docs showing no selective wipe. Similar to the desperate lefty conspiracy theories peddled by outlets like Goldman and Newsweek, claiming that Trump or the FBI scrubbed his name from the files to shield him. But the facts show that it is pure fiction with zero evidence of tampering, redactions, or alterations, as debunked by official releases, FOIS audits, and court seals that confirm the documents are intact and that Trump's mentions have remained exactly as sourced. The Epstein suicide attempt video is fake, and even Trump's own administration later confirmed that the video was bogus, years old, and spawned from like 4chan, and it was on the internet for years, twisting a routine post-release review into some sinister scrub. But the facts get it as standard DOJ redaction protocol: no deletion, no cover-up, just victim privacy compliance under FOIA and the Criminal Victims' Rights Act. 16 files vanished Saturday after Friday's dump because DOJ's December 21st tweet and follow-up statement explained the need for additional review, redactions, and etc. to protect investigations and victims. Now, as for the stuff surrounding like his daughter, they were innocent comments that have been blown out of proportion and taken out of context. He was pretty much doing the "look at that handsome girl, who wouldn't date her" kind of line. It was purely innocent. the photo with him holding his daughter is purely innocent. You guys just smear, take out of context, and label things that he's not. With the pageant stuff, there was a whole like Miss Teen thing, but they were in bathing suits. There was no evidence of wrongdoing. One of them said it made him a little uncomfortable that he came back there because he owned it and was just inspecting. But the girl, they were dressed. He wasn't just peeping. It was all, I mean, there was no creepy behavior. He's not predatory, and all of this lies needs to end. All of these lies need to end, man. You are making pathetic lies and excuses. Like, just this one pathetic lie to paint him as worse than the Democrats somehow, and that's like unfathomably untrue. Unfathomably untrue. Democrats are so much worse, and they are the enablers and helpers of child trafficking. They kill children. I don't want to hear any more BS on this, man. Trump is the savior of our children. I will do a whole article on that. I mean, you guys just lie. You baselessly smear. I'm so sick of it. Show me one proof of evidence of dirty ties. Show me one. I will do articles and videos on fascism, articles and videos on how Trump saves our children, women, and girls, about how he helps the lowest of us, such as the homeless, drug users, and even blacks and Latinos. Majority support him. I will also do articles and videos on deportations, ICE, borders, the wall, birthright, citizenship, immigration, and also on how Dems destroyed, failed, invaded, helped trafficking, and cartels caused hundreds of millions to suffer and nearly completely killed America forever. I will also do articles and videos on due process, the shutdown, the felon and criminal cases angles. And I'll also do one on how blue states and blue cities are the most impoverished, dangerous, worse off, and the most corrupt / on benefits per person. I will also do an article and a video on Dems weaponizing like literal fascists, one on LGBTQ right, and so much more. I got like 60 other big topics to get to. I got a lot to do, and I'm very excited to release all this that I have planned. For now, good day.